Welcome to episode 30 of PuckPod by BD Sports. I'm here with Christian and David. They've obviously had a great week. Let's ask them how that was. Christian, how was your week?
It's been a tumultuous week if we want to go back that far, right? I feel like it's just a pattern of my days. It's like, okay, do I wake up on game day or off day? And right, it just decides how much time am I spending listening to podcasts and whatever. But tumultuous roller coaster week. But right now we're on a high. Right now we're at the top of the roller coaster. We're gonna see if it goes higher or there might be a drop. But you know what? I'm gonna enjoy my ride up as I'm on it right now. How about you, Dave?
It's kind of funny how we use that roller coaster analogy, but like the best part of the roller coaster is the downfall. You know what I mean? I don't
Yikes.
want I don't want this
True.
that uphill
True.
ascent to end. Like these past two games for the Leafs have been phenomenal, especially last night. One of the more underrated so we'll have our own separate like
Yeah.
Leaf episode coming out, but just a quick like aside, like one of the more underrated storylines going in. I know we brought it up on our last Leaf Talk episode, but it was the Andrei Vasilevsky back-to-back playoff loss stat,
We
right?
alluded
That's
to it,
something
yeah.
that was something that should strike fear in anybody. It wasn't as pronounced, I think. Like there was only one graphic I think I could remember from last night.
They used to shove it down our throats. Like
Oh man.
the
Well,
past two
because
playoff
you know
runs,
what?
every game.
It was for fair reason because he was undefeated at that
Yes.
point, right? Now he is not undefeated
21 and
anymore.
21 and
21
3.
and 3 now, yeah, right? But even still, 21 and 3, he got roughed up last night
Scary.
on like save percentage and like goals against. I'm pretty sure, but before that it was 21 and 3 and like a 935 save percentage, which is unreal. So I'm glad that the Leafs got that hurdle out of the way because it seemed like last year when they started to get momentum going, that hurdle seemed to be the biggest challenge for them to overcome. Again, that uphill descent. Oh man, we are riding on a high right now on Leaf Nation in Leaf Nation. So, Bry, as the outside fan looking in, I know you were watching the game with Christian last night. How did you enjoy it?
I've been enjoying all the series that I've been watching. Obviously, my team's not in. Kind of sucks. But but it's also not a blessing in the sense that like we can't compete for it, but it's a blessing in the sense that I get to watch neutral hockey. I've watched almost every single series, almost every single game in every series, like except for the ones that are happening simultaneously, obviously, right? But it's been good, and I've been
In
enjoying my time. Oh,
Brian, in years past, would you watch other series like besides the Caps, or would you just be like Caps only?
Caps only. Then when they get eliminated, I miss the next full round, and I just tune in. I just bounce between games for the third and the final. But yeah, it's kind of difficult for me to watch Capitals and the other Eastern team because I have to go in simultaneously. And then when the Capitals lose, I get burnt out, and then you know how it
I
is.
think me and Dave, yeah, we know that very
We
well.
know.
I
Oh yeah.
definitely tune out for a solid round, probably even more after a round one exit. But we'll see. Maybe things change. But
But without
I
Brian, as a
without
neutral man, you
hmm?
get to like scout. That's what you're doing. You're
Yeah,
doing
mm,
scouting. Hey, wait, Nick Ehlers, what line is he going to be playing on next year for the Caps, right?
second line, it's gonna be
better
nice.
not be on the bench. I mean, better not be in the press box like
Hey,
he is
right?
sometimes
Yeah.
for Winnipeg.
You know, I thought about it. If Laviette's the coach, Ehlers probably gets benched within the first 6 months. But
But hey, no Lavi, man.
I
No
mean,
Lavi.
not happening anymore. But okay, let's talk about a team that will be defending their title this year. Let's talk about the Colorado Avalanche and Seattle Kraken, their series that's going on right now. Currently, Colorado leads 2-1. I'm not gonna lie, when Seattle won the first game, I was kind of a little bit shocked, And I guess Colorado just pulled the next two games back, which is kind of what we expected. I had Colorado in 5, I believe, so it kind of lines up with our expectations. How do you guys feel about that?
I did have Colorado in 5 as well, I believe. I want to amend my not that we can amend our predictions, but if I had to go back and amend them, it feels like this one could go 6. I feel like Seattle's got one more win in them. I feel like what we've seen, especially out of Grubauer, has been very surprising because this guy's been the poster boy of Seattle's got no goaltending for the past year and a half. And all of a sudden, he's showing up big time against his former team. So that's been very interesting to see. On the Seattle front, they've definitely been surprising. Just to see how they go with a star power team like Colorado with their balanced lines on forward and defense, and they've gone toe to toe. Albeit Colorado is sure-handed. We've talked about it all season. No Landeskog, huge blow to the Avalanche. But in 2 games that Colorado has won, it has been that star power, right? McKinnon, Makar, Rantanen, all the usual suspects, and they've shown to be the difference maker after game 1. I do feel so bad for Seattle because they were that close to going up 2-0, right? They go up 2-0 in game 2. Brandon Tanev scores, and he blows a kiss to the crowd, and that was the kiss of death. I love Brandon Tanev, but that, you know what that reminds me of? I don't know if you guys remember Yankees versus Cleveland last year. I think it was the AL. This was the ALDS.
Mhm.
And what's the guy's? Is it Josh? No, what's the guy on Cleveland? He's a Canadian guy.
It's
Oh, I
Josh
forget his
Naylor.
name. It is Josh Naylor,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So
What
Josh Naylor.
was oh my god, I do remember this, but what did he do exactly? I forget it.
So he hit a dinger. He hit a
Yeah,
bomb. I don't know if I think it honestly might have been off of Garrett Cole. I can't remember for
could have
sure,
been.
but
He
he
did
hits a
he was
bomb.
bad last year. I'll tell you that right now. It could have been off of
Yeah,
Garrett Cole.
yeah. So he hits this bomb. I can't remember if I think they were up in the series, but this wasn't a clinching game. It might have been to go up maybe 2-1. It might have been that. And he hits this bomb, and he looks directly into the Yankees bench, and he's rocking the baby.
Yeah.
He's rocking the baby as he runs the bases, and they win a game after that. I really
Yikes.
hope that's not the case for Seattle. I just wanted to draw that parallel as it came to mind. I love me some Brandon Tanev. I'm rooting for the Kraken. I think they can pull one more out, but it's still Colorado in 6 for me. It's been an entertaining series, though. When I have tuned in, it's been fun to watch.
Dave?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie. I forget if I said Colorado, like Colorado sweep or Colorado in 5, and I'm still gonna stick to that prediction. But I'll be honest with you. I was very surprised when they won the first game. I thought for sure first home playoff game for Seattle at the Climate Pledge Arena. I thought mark that down as a roaring playoff win for Seattle, and they did go up. Actually, no, they tied it up. They were down early. They tied it up. They scored 2 goals, I believe, in like it's like 20 seconds or something crazy like that. But then they let the game slip away. Nate McKinnon, Nate Dogg himself. Holy, the guy's running like he's putting on a show right now out west. It's actually unbelievable. Unfortunately I didn't get to catch that game. I was out last night. But I did catch the highlights. Man, I don't even know if like he's even performing at like his full power. And like that's insane to say, but he was like he dropped a defender. I don't know who it was. It could have been anybody on that Seattle team. Like they would have just had to get off the ice and take a seat for like the rest of the game because that was straight up disrespectful to them. So I'm still going to stick with my prediction of Colorado of Avs in 5. But you know what? I think this series is proving there's a couple of series where it's that underdog team is proving that they're really not the full underdog. Like, you know what I mean? Like they can hold their own. And I think Seattle has been able to hold their own. So hats off to Philip Grubauer as well, who we kind of picked apart before the playoffs started as somebody who could be a liability for that Seattle team, but he's stepped up his game in big ways. So I'll give him some credit where it's due.
I do want to go back to that liability point for a second. Just an interesting thing. I went through a lot of the stats for these teams. When I looked at Seattle, it was interesting to note who is their leading point getter so far in 3 games, guys. Who would we suspect leads this team in points?
You would expect
Is it
Beniers to be, no?
Vince Dunn?
You would expect someone like Beniers. So it's Justin Schultz. 1
Oh,
goal,
really?
3 assists, 4 points
That's
in 3
another one.
games. And Dave, you mentioned Vince Dunn. Through 3 games, he's got zeros across the board.
Oh,
And
really?
that is the surprise. That is the surprise right there because he's a guy who I think had at least 60 points this year. Just pulling it up here. Yeah, he had 64 points in the regular season. So he's been the engine, at least to their offense from the back end. And that's, you can look at it two ways. That's part of maybe why Seattle could lose, but it's also maybe a reason for optimism that Vince Dunn hasn't gone into the series, and that if he does, is there some upside left in Seattle here? So I just wanted to note that because I did find that interesting.
Oh man, that's another guy that we let go of, but glad to see him doing well now on a new team, new fate, like on a new branding himself differently and stuff like that. Oh well, let's move on to the next series. This one, I'm a little bit surprised by. I kind of like Dallas this year. I have them in the final, but they're down 2-1 to Minnesota right now in their series. I don't know. Like,
Yikes.
I'm surprised. I mean, okay, hear me out. I didn't expect Philip Gustafson to pull up these numbers. I have his stats here. A .961 save percentage and a 1.18 goals against average. Those are pretty good stats for 3 games,
Now
I'd
read out
say.
Gross.
Marc-Andre Fleury's
Yeah.
numbers from that one game.
Yes, that little changeup was a little bit weird. And I think Minnesota will be going with Philip Gustafson from this point on. You'd have to be crazy not to be. But I don't know what's up with Dallas. I think that Pavelski situation kind of took the air out of the team, which kind of sucks because you'd expect the team to rally around that kind of stuff, right? I still think Dallas will win. I just think the team's too good on paper. I can't see them losing. So that's why I'm going to stay with my prediction Dallas in 6. But we'll see. I mean, that might be the one to bite me in the ass.
I feel like this series has 7 written all over it. I feel like these teams are as tightly matched as you can get. They feel very similar just in terms of star power, pace, goaltending when they're at their peak. They can be very similar. And on the goaltending point, Jake Ottinger hasn't been a world beater like we saw last season, right? Or last playoff series against Dallas and Calgary. Thought that was the goalie show. I actually believe that Jake Ottinger's save percentage, it might be like just hovering at 900. So it is not what we expected, or at least a lot of people expected coming into this series. It is an 898, so below 900. How many people would have seen that one coming?
No one.
Yes, we
I
are only
didn't.
3 games through,
I
right?
wouldn't.
So it can still change. That's the thing. He can still flip the switch. Two guys that I looked at on Dallas's roster that need to step it up for them to have a chance in this series, especially in the absence of Pavelski, Domi and Marchment. Domi is a guy we talked about a lot just as a target potentially for the Leafs. He's got zeros on the board right now. I'm assuming he's playing probably some top 6 minutes. Marchment is another guy, new addition to this team, and you think he's perfect for playoff branded hockey. We haven't seen either of those guys make their mark on the series yet. It's been kind of Rupe Hintz and company. Like their stars do show up. Rupe Hintz, I think Heiskanen has like 5 points, so he's doing his usual playoff stuff. Robertson's got points. They need that secondary scoring. For me though, like you look at Minnesota, it's all of their additions who are making the huge difference here.
Who's the addition?
Brian's,
Yep. He
yeah,
might be the
yeah,
best
Brian's
pickup.
son.
He might be the best pick of this offseason. I think they paid like a 3rd or a 4th round pick, and he has 2 goals already.
Yeah,
Unreal.
yeah.
And one of the goals, wow. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I don't remember who the defender was, but he just took the guy's pants off.
I'm gonna pull it up here. I'm pretty sure he leads them in points so far.
Johansson has 2 goals, so I don't think
yeah,
that.
okay.
Yeah,
No, yeah. So yeah, Mojo has 2 goals in 3 games.
and I
Hartman's
think
got 4
Hintz
points. Zuccarello's got 4. Nyquist has 4
4
assists.
assists.
Yeah.
So that's the guy who I was on, and I said any team who's making the playoffs should be looking at him.
That
This is
guy's
a
a
free
playoff
guy to add to your roster.
He is a playoff performer. I remember going back to his Detroit days. Like the guy always stepped it
I
up in
love
the
him.
playoffs. Man, who did we not see him against Toronto with Columbus? Was he not a part of that team as well?
I don't know if so. He got injured halfway through the year, so probably the early season game. I think Columbus, we played them like in the first 10 games. I think
Yeah.
he's probably in that game, so we probably saw him a bit. I like him.
Regardless,
I love his
yeah.
speed.
Regardless, they and it was dirt cheap like price. Like if you
Yeah,
Like a
could
4th
get
round
I think
pick.
somebody
it was
like
his
that for
5th
a
or 6th.
flyer, I mean, dude, you got to take that deal, right?
Yeah, and that was because remember we had heard all the stuff about Leafs don't want, or the league doesn't want anyone to do what the Leafs did with Riley Nash.
Yeah.
We don't want someone to be stashing up at IR.
And then they
And literally
did
the
that.
next day, The next day, Gustav Nyquist is going to Minnesota. He's on LTIR, yada yada.
Oh
Anyways,
man. Oh
good
well.
pickup, Gus Nyquist. John Klingberg was the other one that we talked about.
Mm.
In one game, he picked up 2 points. So he's actually been healthy scratched a couple times here, but when he's been in, he's doing John Klingberg stuff. So it's a lot of the new additions
I
that
mean,
are
it
making
probably
a
helps.
difference.
Probably helps when you get away from that toxicity or like that just
Oh yeah.
awfulness in Anaheim. It probably
Oh
makes you a
yeah.
better player. I mean, like John Klingberg's a guy that I don't know if you want him as your number 1D, like kind of leading everything. But if you stash him lower down that D core list, man, like he could cause some serious damage, like for any team, right? And of course, with Thing. But I'm still very upset that I put a lot more faith in Jake Ottinger this year. I was like, dude, if he's able to not even recreate his performances from last year,
Even half of it.
half of that. Ah, dude, this series could have been like tilted on its head already. Like, man. I hope Dallas does actually come out. Like, I just genuinely like their players a lot more. I say that as it looks like the Hurricanes just scored again to take a 3-0 lead today. So
Ugh, I gotta change
uh
my notes for that series then. Oh,
We'll get
yeah,
there.
yikes. So
But Dave,
I still
yeah,
got Dallas in 7. I'm going Dallas in 7 still. I'm keeping
yeah,
the
you
faith.
know what? I guess. I mean, I have a real tough time saying 6, because that would mean that they would have to win out the rest of the series, which could happen. But that's also tough to win 4 games in a row like that, where you're kind of like on the back burner now. Like you got to step it up. So I think that's a series that's marked for 7 games. I don't know if Dallas is going to come out of it, but I think Dallas will make a big fight and a big comeback. Today and in the future.
makes sense. All right, let's move into the first Canadian team that we're talking about today. Vegas Golden Knights, Winnipeg Jets. I don't know where to start with this one. I watched that full game yesterday, the double OT one, and then I forgot who the defender was. That it
It
was
was Shifley. Shifley like
no,
balled the ball.
it was Dylan Sandberg. That's who it was. Ruined the game and costed the Winnipeg Jets the
Was
greatest
it?
playoff comeback of the year so
Damn.
far. Yeah, yeah.
That was a crazy tying goal. Well, like I said, we were
Oh
at
man.
the we were at a pub like downtown, and that feed was on before, because that was the feed on before the Leaf game, and then they cut it as soon as the period ended. But like everybody in the bar was going crazy because they scored twice and with like was a couple of minutes left in the game. So
Yes. And they had the balls to pull the goalie around the 4th minute, being down 2 goals. You gotta give him credit for that.
you have to take
You
those
do,
chances,
you do.
right?
Yes, but I don't know. I guess I'm right still about Vegas leading the series and winning in 6. I'm gonna stick with that position, but my heart says Winnipeg, and I really want Winnipeg to win
Really.
this series. Yes, I
I
think that they've shown
their
fight.
their atmosphere in
Amazing.
that arena, that whiteout is fantastic. I wish more teams would adopt like a color rush system. Maybe it only works for Winnipeg, like the whole whiteout thing, and like Winnipeg's always snowing, like that type of stuff. It works so well together.
Christian has a really good take about what the Jets should do in the playoffs.
My pet peeve is just why don't they wear their away jerseys in the playoffs at
Yeah, the whole
home,
time.
Yeah,
right? Like,
Yeah.
well, not even the whole, like just go.
Oh, at home
Yeah,
at
yeah. Oh,
least.
actually, no,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right because you would wear the
Well, they would.
Vegas
Yeah.
would wear their homes.
Just
That works,
never
bro.
wear
That works.
their darks.
Well, I mean,
Stash
just
those
based off
things.
of the whiteout, I think that would be
Yeah.
sick.
I kind of
I
like
think I
it.
think that's the one thing. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah. I mean that would be
Uh,
pretty cool.
for me, Brian, just from watching that game, and just this series, like if you had to say like who is the leader, who is the heart of the Winnipeg Jets, which player has been just like the heart and soul of this team, where you're like that guy wants this team to win so freaking bad.
Adam
Because to me,
Lowry.
the player is Adam
Oh
Lowry.
yeah.
Adam Lowry's just like who doesn't want that guy on the team? If they had to name a captain for next season, assuming there's no additions or no subtractions, you just take all the exact same players. Adam Lowry gets the C, right? I
Yes,
just
low key.
I
Yeah,
just wanted to
Yeah.
give him a shout out,
He's
man.
the
That guy
fan
is a beast.
favorite. He is
Yes.
that
Yeah.
underrated fan favorite. Like most markets are like most, even analysts, like that's not a guy people talk about. But when you see his resume and like what he could bring to a team, 100%, like he has the acumen to be a captain, basically. I think more so than a guy like Wheeler. I'll be honest. Like I was never really convinced with
I'm not a Wheeler
Wheeler.
guy. Yeah, me
Yeah,
neither.
like I don't know. There's something about their core leadership that just there's a
Turns you
something
away.
a, something a little bit icky going on there. But if you
How
get
many times
somebody,
though have we gone back and forth on these guys though, right?
uh
Well, like
man,
we've probably been more back than we have been forth,
especially
right?
the
Like we're
past couple of
usually
years.
down on them. Yeah, this whole season we were like, yeah, Winnipeg's gonna implode, and then they come out on fire, then they
Then they
implode,
do
and
implode.
now they're back to being on fire. Like, what a confusing team!
It
So damn
also
confusing,
it
man.
also does help when you get the goaltending. Like the
Oh,
difference
that's true.
between
The
like
bubble wrap.
Connor Hellebuck and anybody else, that team could have finished like 32nd in the league this year. Like
There's one more thing I just want to bring up before you guys give your series predictions. What would you do if I told you had the Winnipeg Jets team against Vegas, but you removed Josh Morrissey for the rest of the series?
This is a good point. This is a very good point. Because I have
Yes,
even
David
that written
happened.
down.
Yes, he's out
Yeah.
for the
no,
series.
So
I know he is out for the series.
Oh, you look shocked.
I did see that. I
yeah.
was like,
That's
that's
heartbreaking.
a potential, like what he's gonna finish top three in Norris voting, right? I think
Yes.
at the very least top
Top
five,
five. Yeah.
right?
Um, I thought like if before that injury, I would have said this is an incredibly even match series, just like the Winnipeg or the Minnesota Dallas one. But without Morrissey, like I'm sticking to what I think I said. I honestly I didn't even write down the freaking predictions that we originally made. I went off the dome. So we're gonna see if I remember them off the dome, but I'm pretty sure I had Vegas in six. I'm still taking Vegas in six. I would say in seven if Morrissey was in here. But wow, that was a heartbreaker of a game three for Winnipeg to lose. Similar in some aspects to the Toronto game we just watched, just vice versa. Um, I do think Vegas can pull this through.
Now, does the one question I have to ask is like, does Winnipeg's firepower get through the um the Knights defense? Like you think of that Knights defense, Petrangelo, Shea Theodore,
Love
who
me
else
some
is
Shea
there?
Theodore.
Yeah,
White
It's
Cloud,
White
McNabb,
Cloud.
Martinez,
it's
Those are a lot of guys. Like a couple of them are cup
Haig.
winners. A couple of them went to the cup finals and unfortunately lost. Like um does the Jets firepower get through like the Knights firepower could go through the Jets defense without Josh Morrissey? And we saw it, like
Yeah,
Jack Eichel is having the
he's
time
here.
of his life right now. First
Happy
playoff,
for him.
first ever set of playoff games for him, and I think he's got
Yeah.
3 goals, maybe 4 goals.
Yep.
I think he scored twice
3
yesterday.
goals.
3 goals. One of them, beautiful tip. I forget if that was last game or the game before. It was like picture perfect. I'm
you
like, oh,
rifled the other one.
dude, like
And
that. Like a lot of people, myself included, have been down on Jack Eichel for a while.
real deal.
You know what? You put him in the right situation to thrive, man, he could show what he does, right? So that's something, what, that's a series that might be going under the radar of how sneakily good it could be. So something to
It's a
keep an eye
war.
on. Oh yeah, 100%. Something to keep an eye on for the next few games.
You
Dave, what's your
talk about
prediction?
Jack Eichel.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, Dave. No. Go ahead,
I
Dave.
don't even
It's okay.
remember what I had. I know I had Vegas going through. I forget if I said 6 or 7. I'm gonna, you know what? I'll go off on a limb. I like 7 games. Like I love the elimination 7, so I'll go elimination 7 for that one. But Vegas.
I can't remember if we had this part of the Eichel convo on the pod or off the pod. Just talking about Eichel and like kind of a disappointing season, and just like how he was for some reason argued as in the conversation with Connor McDavid. Just a lot of media hoopla that year, just saying 2 generational talents in this draft. Obviously, all these years later, there's a chasm between these two players, but that's not to say that Eichel is bad. And I think the more realistic conversation for him to be involved in when he's at full power, full health on a good team is the premier American player in the league. I don't see why he can't be in the conversation with guys like Jack Hughes and Austin Matthews as that guy. Kachuk has entered that conversation as well. But I do think that Eichel, at his peak, this guy can put up 45 goals, 45, like he can be a 90 to 100 point scorer. It's been really nice to see him show up in the playoffs because I am also just selfishly wanting Vegas to go through. And the next series, I want the guy with McDavid, the team with McDavid to go through so we can see those guys match up against each other. So yeah, I have to give a shout out to Mark Stone. Have to give a shout out to my boy Mark Stone because I always talk about Mark Stone is the poster boy of my theory of I just want the guys on my team who celebrate every goal like they just won the Stanley Cup. And when Mark Stone scores a goal, that guy will blow out your eardrums. Okay, just watch any replay of this guy's playoff goals. It's incredible. I love the dude. He's got 4 points in 3 games. I wish nothing but the best for Mark Stone. So I just wanted to give him a shout out there. Other underrated storyline, the revenge tour of Laurent Brossoit against his former teammate, Connor Hellebuck. And win's a win. Right now, Brossoit's got 2 and Hellebuck's got 1. Who would have thought that was coming, right?
That is an interesting situation because obviously you would think Hellebuck is bar none the better goalie, but we'll see. We'll see because of course Vegas, you can argue, has the superior team. But you mentioned earlier Connor McDavid. Let's move into his series, and he's down.
Man,
and I feel bad because
they got jobbed
3-0.
Let's
yeah,
not.
Okay,
just ask the question. Someone just say the question.
Did it touch the stick?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. Yes, it was high stick. 100% made contact. I saw a replay on TNT, and you can change the direction shift. I don't know if you saw that one.
I couldn't believe looking at social media, like how many
there
people,
there were
not even
so many
Edmonton
people,
fans, right?
so many people saying that it wasn't. I'm like, did everybody else could see the puck tilt from? It was up in the air and then it tilted.
Yeah, this is the hockey version of the dress. That's what this is, eh?
No, it's not because I don't believe people saw the other one. Just like how I don't believe people did not see it touch the thing. It was black and blue, guys. Come on.
I saw gold and white, but I know what you mean.
Yeah,
you're lying, Brian. Or maybe I'm lying.
So I know what you mean, but giving this back on track, yeah, the Oilers got screwed. But a part of me kind of thinks that they're doing it to themselves in the sense 100%. That if they don't take that penalty, I think it was Draisaitl took that penalty, or is it Nuge? What like one of the bigger name players I think took that final penalty, which led to the situation, which led to the goal. I don't know, boys. They're down 2-1.
Being undisciplined definitely costs them probably a little bit more than most.
And even the first game, what was it? They blew a 3-0 lead. Was it 3-0?
I think it was 2.
2-0.
They blew a lead.
100%.
Yes. They almost blew another one too, right? The game after.
And it's heartbreaking because you see this team, they have so much firepower, but then when it comes to those clutch moments, the time where you need to tighten up, not the team needs to tighten up, the bottom 6 and everybody else that's not on the top 6.
Everybody's not named Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
Yes, exactly. I think that's what it is. Like, it is guys in the top 6. Where is the 100-point scorer Ryan Nugent-Hopkins? Where's point per game player Zach Hyman?
Yes,
those are 2 guys that I think got to step up. I think Hyman's got himself 1 assist right now, and Nuge has 2 assists,
which is very surprising.
I look at those guys.
There's one thing I just wanted to just ask you guys. Do you guys trust Stuart Skinner after blowing? Like, you can't blame him specifically, but you got to change something. He's a rookie goalie. Do you guys still trust him or no?
You can't ask that question without giving the context of what the other option is, right?
I was just about to say, true. The only problem is it's not like they have somebody as reliable in the back. I will say it again on camera. I think I've said it maybe 7 times in 30 episodes this year. I love Jack Campbell. He seems like a great person. Right now, his confidence is not where it needs to be. And I think if you have any hope, you need Stuart Skinner at least playing 900
at least
900 hockey. I think he's been able to do that. Taking untimely penalties definitely doesn't help, like, late in the game and stuff like that. But man, just that
Stuart Skinner's been 900 on the dot. Just wanted to say
okay. So that backup option just scares me probably even more than Stuart Skinner with a 900.
But before I finish my part of this, there's 2 players I just want to shout out. Anze Kopitar, he's already getting a statue outside Staples. I think he has 5 points right now. Don't quote me on that. I'm just like going off the top of my head. He's been the top performer of that team, and he's also the number one shutdown guy, even though he already knows he's getting a statue outside Crypto Arena. Another guy I wanted to shout out, Adrian Kempe. He's all over the place. Like you see him
Sniper.
everywhere, 200
40 goal
feet.
scorer.
Did he get 40 goals this year?
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, good for
I
him.
think even last year he
last
had
game of
like
the year.
36, man.
And I
I
tell you
believe
what,
he had he got 40 on a hat trick last game of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Finished with 41, 35 last year. Like
and good for him.
probably the quietest 40-goal season this year.
Probably. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's the leading goal scorer on the Kings right now in the playoffs. Seems like he's scoring every game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that ends my segment. How about you, Christian?
I want to give shout out. I was gonna give a shout out to Kempe, but we got that one in. I follow scores big goals, right? And Trevor Moore, this guy's in the Oilers' nightmares between last year and this year. He scores off of that high stick play. Goal's a goal. It's in the books now. I think Trevor Moore is definitely tormenting some Oilers fans. Something interesting on the Edmonton front, actually. They lost Janmark, I think, in game one. I don't remember what it was that he was injured with or how long he's out, but they've gone to 11-7 after losing him. That seventh defenseman has been Philip Broberg. Okay. He's a guy who's got some pedigree, definitely played in the regular season. He probably got bounced out of the lineup for Vinny Desharnais. So they reinsert him. His time on ice in the two games has been 4 minutes and 39 seconds and 3 minutes and 10 seconds. They're literally just wasting a roster.
Why play him? Why even do that?
And so here's the crazy thing, though. He's a +2 in those times. How this guy has come out +2 in an average of 3 minutes and 55 seconds of playing two games. So
and one of them
either
was
play him a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. Play him a little bit more, maybe, or don't play him at all and go back to 12-6 and just play any other forward for literally 5-6 minutes. And I think you'd be better off.
Or maybe you take somebody like Vinny Desharnais out, who's literally just
he's been not too good.
He is just large. Yeah. That's a massive man who really doesn't have a great hockey skill set, I think. Or at least one that could fit that team's profile.
We haven't talked about McDavid yet, which I find kind of hilarious. Like specifically McDavid. We allude to him, we mentioned him somewhat, but Connor McDavid, he finally got off the schneid, scored 2 power play goals. I think we're all mistaken. Very nice goals, snipe after snipe, just playing on easy mode. If you don't think McDavid isn't going to erupt in one of these games, you're mistaken. He's going to have his 3-point, 4-point night. I think tonight would be a great opportunity for him to do that. I do feel like this is the do or die game for the Oilers. Like if they go down 3-1, I'm not seeing them coming back.
That's a real nail in the head. I think if any team has the potential to come back from 3-1, I don't know if it's them. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if they have the backbone and resiliency.
But you say that.
Do it.
But you say that.
It's just based off of what we've seen in these 3 games.
It's true.
That's what it's based off.
If it's Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on other teams across of other teams in the playoffs, like if you put Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid on, I don't know, the Seattle Kraken, you know what I mean? I think maybe, yeah, I would be like, oh, but I don't know. I've never have been convinced. For as good as they've done this regular season, I just have never been convinced on the makeup of the rest of the team, unfortunately. But we'll see. Maybe I'll be proved wrong. And I'd like to be proved wrong.
Yes, that's true. And sticking on, gassing up the Kings just a little bit more. Danault and Kopitar are the 2 centers that go 50-50 against every center in the league. Not because they're superior, not because they're more talented, but because they just know how to shut everybody down. And they might not be. It's kind of hard to shut down McDavid, but I think they're muzzling him to an extent. You can make the argument.
I'm actually very surprised looking at this. The Oilers are beating the Kings on faceoff percentage, 55.4 to whatever the inverse of that is, because So Oilers are winning that battle. That's surprising. Obviously, the center versus center battle goes outside of the faceoff dot.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Just a couple things on the Kings point, or on the Kings end of things, very quickly. Bubble Corpusalo was back. That guy has been pretty freaking good. I think the only like definitively bad goal was the Klim Kostin winner in game 2. That one I could have like that one back. And they scratched Kaliev last game. That was a surprise. They scratched him for Zach McEwen. And I'm a Zach McEwen fan, but I don't know how I feel about that. Kings only have 8 skaters with a point in the series. Only 8 different people have recorded a point. I think that's
Well,
interesting. It's a low scoring series.
when you have Kopitar with 5 goals and Kempe with like 4, sorry, Kopitar with 5 points and Kempe with like 4 goals. I mean, the depth can be quiet just for a little bit, you know. But
I think to beat a team like the Oilers though, or to at least like stretch out a series and maybe close them out, you probably want your depth guys. Like you're looking at a guy like
it's a
Quinton
difference maker.
Byfield. I
Yep.
said Quinton Byfield
Okay,
going
yeah.
in needs to step up. I think
Yeah.
if LA wants to get through Edmonton and then also look at making a run, like he's got to find his feet in the playoffs.
And I'll
I
tell you
actually
what,
think he's been okay. He's got 2 points in 3 games. Throw
noticeable.
my other stat out the window. I think it was 8 forwards, which is totally in line. They've actually got
Okay.
12 guys with points. So that, but yeah,
Okay.
Byfield is
Fair
a good one though. Like he's an X factor. He's like he could turn the series into something
Yeah,
else.
on his side for sure.
And I'll tell you what, there's no other place to make a statement against the best 2 players in the world in the best tournament in the world. And I'll tell you what, boys, let's just go on a quick break. I'm gonna go grab some water,
Yeah.
and yeah, we'll just see everybody in. I want to say, we'll be right back. Okay, we are back from our quick little break. Let's talk about a series that I want to tip the other way, but I still have it in 5. Boston, Florida, Bruins leading 2-1. Okay, there's a big caveat with this because the Bruins are not at 100%. I think they have a flu or something like that. Everybody's sick. I know Bergeron's out. I know Krejci's out. Anybody else? Anybody else notable? I know. Oh, I know Yuli was sick. Yeah.
Mark was,
He was game time decision. I almost feel bad. Emphasis on the word almost.
Almost. I like that. But
yeah.
You know what? Orlov, the rest of the league is starting to realize he's elite. I think he has 4 assists. Don't quote me on that. It's off the top of my head. Yeah.
Wow.
This is the game that this is the series I've been watching the most besides the Leafs Bolts, just because Fubo TV. You know how it is, boys. Gotta get that plug in there. But I don't know. Like Dave said something that really stood out to me. Game 3, Cats, Bruins. That was the Cats' chance to win the game. Bergeron out, Krejci out. They got to step up. They almost got it done. But, you know, they just didn't.
Slip away.
I know that the Bruins were winning 4-0, but at the end, you kind of thought, all right, Forsling scored. Sam Reinhart scores. Can Kachuk score to make it 4-3? Can Barkov score to tie? And it just didn't happen, and they lost 4-2 in the final game. But it is what it is. They weren't expected to win the series, and I think that even winning one game, given the caveat, is still an achievement. But we got to see. How about you guys?
Dave, which game was it in the Leafs series that Bergeron missed? I can't remember now. They all blend together, man. Was it game 6?
No, I don't think it was game 6. I want to say like game 4, 3 or 4.
Okay. Yeah, we saw that as,
or maybe it was 4 or 5 because it was one of those things where it was like you win and you chokehold the series. I think it was probably game 4 because I think if the Leafs had won, yeah. So the series ended up being tied, then us taking a chokehold on the series, and then they choked it and they lost it.
I know I had to bring that up, but just because that feels like the same thing, right?
If I'm not mistaken, that also was before this playoff run, that was the last playoff game that he missed. So that year they went on a cup run.
Yeah.
The last couple of years it's been like one and done kind of things, but he's been in all the games up until the game 1, whenever he was out. So you know, when Bergeron is out, he's out. I think we even said it last week again, like punctured lung in the Stanley Cup, like playing in the Stanley Cup final with a punctured lung, like crazy.
I don't know. Did you guys see on the broadcast the last time the Bruins played a playoff game without Bergeron or Krejci?
Probably 2007.
Even earlier than that. I think it was 03 or 04.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So without one of those guys in the lineup. That's pretty
when
crazy,
when
eh?
Joe Thornton was the leading scorer on that team, probably.
But
Probably,
I'll tell you
probably.
what, Coyle and Zaka stepped up.
Yeah.
Dude, I was gonna say that, man. Like I'm low key comfortable with those two as my temporary 1 and 2 C's, to be honest. I think that
I
that's a
don't want to
fine
say it, but I
band-aid.
am
Are they
too.
going
Yeah.
into, let's say this run for the Bruins ends up in, you know, actually I think either or, whether they win or not, is this the last run for both Bergeron and Krejci? Do they come back next year?
I refuse to answer that question because I've been burned too many times. I'm not even kidding. Like I just can't. Like I can't bring
Okay.
myself to say
How
it.
about
And
let me rework that question then. Can we see a world where those two are gone and somebody like Charlie Coyle steps up to, like, I don't know if it's 1C, but maybe he takes that Krejci spot and
I
So
Pavel
like this
Zacha
question,
moves
man.
up.
I like this question. I think the answer is yes. Okay, I see. I shouldn't like. I think they can. Yeah, I'm not
I'm in
gonna
the same
doubt
boat
them.
as you.
Yeah, like, and I'm not saying like they obviously set records again, but playoff team and playoff team that's going to scare you a little
If they
bit.
get in, oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
if
There's
they
one more
get
We're
in.
thing.
seeing it right now. We just saw it. Yeah.
So another thing I just want to point out, I told you guys about this with the LA series at Edmonton. If you have two centers that can just shut down the other centers, um, then at that point it's the battle of wingers, right? And
You
I
take,
think,
oh man, you
oh,
take
you
those
take
Boston
Pasternak,
wings.
Marchand, Bertuzzi, and Hall almost over every single set of wingers in the league.
We
Yeah.
sometimes forget that these guys, like when they're healthy, employ a Hart Trophy winner on their third line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and like we're not talking Corey Perry, Rocket winner on a fourth line in his late 30s. We're talking Taylor Hall, what, 4 or 5 years removed from his
Yeah.
MVP season?
Single-handedly dragging Jersey that year to a playoff berth.
pretty good player.
Yes. Yeah, so that's crazy. Bertuzzi, man, like I know Brian said, like he just looks like he was made for a Bruins jersey, but
Darn
I
it,
think he's got
Hathaway
4 or 5 points, dude.
Yeah,
I can't stop gushing about Hathaway every time I see him. I caught a bit of I think it was no, it was game 3. There was a face off at one of the blue lines, and you had Hathaway lining up with Ryan Lomberg. I told you guys, Lomberg is a greasy rat too, and those guys could not stand still for a face-off. They had to restart the face-off 4 times over because these guys kept creeping in. They cannot help themselves from being greasy rats, and I was just laughing because both of these
Are
guys just
are the Florida Panthers the most underrated greasy team in the league?
yes.
I don't think they
between
get enough credit.
Gudas, Lomberg,
Blomberg,
Kachuk, who's not so under the
Cousins.
radar. Yeah, Cousins a little bit. Yeah,
yeah,
also on the
man.
fence. But still, that is like for me. It's Longberg. He's the face of sneaky rat. Yeah,
Like when maybe it's the Atlantic that just causes this type of stuff, because when you think of greasy ratty teams, it's Boston. That's poster, like that is the poster child for grease.
Bolts.
Bolts.
Bolts
Yeah,
number 2, especially the
Panthers.
past few years.
Just
But I
Matthew
think
Kachuk's face when you say greasy.
Yeah,
I think the Panthers are giving, oh well, they're certainly giving the Bruins a run for their money in terms of greasiness. I saw a tweet the other day that was like, how greasy does one team have to be to make me feel bad for guys like Brad Marchand? Like,
it's
you know
so
what I mean?
true, man.
He was,
Yeah,
oh my God, Radko Gudas was playing that guy's spine like a goddamn xylophone for like a couple of times. Like he was recording a record off his back. Holy smokes.
I
If Boston's got like number 1 goal has to be finish this series as quickly as possible, because if you get this series going to 6
You'll get
games,
hurt.
oh my God,
the grease is just going.
they're
We're talking a
already
deep
hurt.
fryer.
Yeah, those are going to be some deep line like bruises like come game 6.
Before some predictions here, we gotta talk a little bit about Alex Lyon. I'm not even gonna talk about his
Mm.
play because like I think we can at least agree that like he's kept them in it, and I think him doing that is all you could have ever asked of him. Um, that little video on the broadcast of him walking into the arena, I think it was for game 2. I don't know if you guys saw it, where he stared just down the
Yeah.
camera from as soon as he turns the corner into the hallway until he passes it. I don't know why. I just found that hilarious. And then they had another cam on him when he was in the locker room, and same thing. He just stared it down. I'm an Alex Lyon fan now, boys. He's got a personality as all the goalies usually do. Yeah, I would love to see a Cinderella story. I'm not seeing it though. I think the Bruins put their foot on the Panthers' throats now, and it's a 5 game series. I had the Bruins sweeping, but
It'll be
5 games.
competitive though. I mean, I give them that.
Let's say today, after today, the hypothetically, if Florida goes down 3-1, do you make the change in net? You have the $10 million goalie sitting on your bench right now for Florida.
No, I respect
Does
you
he
don't
come
do
back
it.
in?
I don't think there's any way that guy has like the confidence level or just I don't trust him right now. I wouldn't. Not cold. No.
So the main reason I'm against it is just because Lions kept you in, and then in the last second you're really gonna turn on him like that. It's not a good
Yeah.
look. Organization, you'd rather.
Someone's gonna give that guy a little contract next year, eh? I'm assuming he's a free agent. I don't actually know, but if he
Seattle.
is, then
Oh my God.
yeah, dude, that'll be
Oh my.
anyways.
Um,
Man.
has it? Man, when did he sign that deal? Was it like 2016, 2017?
Who? Bobrovsky.
Oh wait. Oh, you guys are talking about Lion. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, Bobrovsky's.
How many more years does
probably got a
Bob have?
contract, but
6,
I'm gonna
7.
guess like 3.
Is
No,
it-
no
No,
way.
No?
he signed.
Okay,
He
okay.
signed
No
like
way.
5 years ago for 8.
It feels like yesterday,
Yeah.
man. It feels like yesterday,
Yeah.
boys. But let's move into the next series. Yeah, let's go into this one. Let's go into Carolina Islanders.
Yeah.
Carolina's. Hey, what's the score right now in this game?
It's 3-0 end of
3-0?
the second.
Okay, so
4
right
nothing.
now,
Never
4-1.
mind. Seth
4-0.
Jarvis just
Oh,
scored.
4
man.
nothing.
Oh
Okay,
my
so-
God.
So
there goes my money.
as of right now, the Hurricanes are winning 2-1 in the series. It will likely be 3-1 by the time this pod is done recording. I don't know. I'm not surprised. I had Carolina in 5, I think. Like, I know that Carolina's beaten up. I know they're hurt, but there's just something special with this core organization, their team. They just play fast. Marinikas is a star in the making. The question I'm going to ask you guys is, should he have been fined for his little punch on the bench? Yes or no?
Dude, he should have been suspended. Like, how are you throwing a sucker
Okay.
punch on an opposing team's bench? Like,
That's
You
fair.
know how they put out the videos, like the Department of Player Safety videos, where it's like Michael Bunting made a hit in game 1. Let's go over it and whatever. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
imagining they're putting that video together, or like they presented to George Peros, and he's just watching it, and he's just like, yes, he punched him in the face, but that was fucking hilarious. So it negates everything. Illegal timing doesn't matter because comedic timing was 10 out of 10. So nullified. No fine, no nothing.
the
100% a fine.
comeback is currently on. Adam Pellick 4-1, baby.
4-1.
It's coming to UBS
like
Arena, everybody. It is coming
So-
home.
So in regards to Carolina, I just wanted to ask you guys this: who do you think is their leading point scorer? It's not Nikic, by the way.
I'm gonna guess. No, but I haven't seen his name on the box scores enough to guess this.
I want to say somebody on D. I want to say like Brady Shea.
Is this going into the game that's being played or including the stats?
This is going into it.
Okay.
I'll just say Brent. I'm just gonna guess Brent Burns.
You are correct. He has 4 points as of right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because another thing too, like all 4 goals today, I was looking. It was like Nicash got his first. Aho got
Mason.
his second.
Aho's
Nason
3
has like 2 goals. Like had 2,
Leafs
like,
legend Stefan.
yeah,
Mason.
Stefan Nason.
So Aho
I'm gonna
would
read
be.
my notes verbatim here. I have Canes lose table. I think they're vulnerable. Just throw that out the window.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, just X that out. Yeah, even
Oh,
Seth
man.
Jarvis today too. 2 goals, his
Oh,
first
yeah.
2 of the series. So it's like, yeah,
It's arguable
man.
that their third, fourth, and fifth best player are just hurt right now. Pacioretty,
Yeah.
Svechnikov, and what's his name?
imagine a
Yes,
healthy
Toivo
lineup.
Teravainen. Yeah,
Imagine a full lineup.
That's what. Oh, it's
But-
just like you put in your head. Like this team is not healthy, therefore they can't be good, and yet they just keep on showing us that they're good, and I keep doubting them. I personally keep doubting them. I was in 7.
I'm still gonna doubt them, dude.
Uh,
Isles in 6. It's happening. They're
like,
winning
yeah,
today.
I was in.
It's coming back, dude.
I'm sorry, boys, it's done.
The one thing I wanted to note was I would at some point in the future, maybe we'll like see it with the Leafs. I would love to watch a um Isles game, like a Isles playoff game in the
UBS.
UBS arena. The Isles fans are like literally whack jobs. Like they're insane. Like they're sickos, half of them. But I love it. Like,
Would
yeah, you gotta feed off that energy.
you wear your Leaf jersey there?
Oh, 100%. Dude,
Yeah,
I will
you
take
have
as
to.
much verbal abuse as possible just to say like I want to go watch it. Like you got to get the full experience if you're going to go to the UBS arena. I would never do it in TD Garden because I'm not sadistic. But 100% I'd go to an Isles game with a Leaf jersey on.
Dude, if you just imagine, like, if you think that this arena is loud right now, if it was a Leafs Isles series,
Oh
Oh my
God.
oh my
god.
God. It's just the part
Dude,
where I tell everyone about my dream that I had. I'm actually okay.
oh,
I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna
could
do it.
you imagine? Maybe it comes true. What if they come back today, Christian, is coming true. I'm telling you
So
right now.
maybe I do have to verbalize it to see if it comes true. I had a dream, not last night, 2 nights ago, and I put it into our little group chat. I'm like, boys, I had a very vivid dream last night. Leafs win game five, 5-4 in overtime to escape round one. It's a William Nylander rebound goal, but it was against the Islanders. So we're not playing the Islanders right now. We're playing the Lightning. So I don't know. I guess Eastern Conference Final. Me and Dave are going to UBS Arena. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, might be. It might be.
Change our
We'll
prediction,
see.
boys.
I feel like a coward if I change my prediction. So I'm
Yeah, I'm
maintaining
sticking.
Isles in 7.
1006. It's happening.
Okay, that's fair. So you said ending the series in game 5. There's a good chance that the Rangers and the Devils in 5. I'm a little bummy about this one, boys.
Man,
I
that is
really don't like
one.
this one, but
We had that pegged. I think all three of us had that pegged as 7. And all three of us are very, 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 very wrong.
yes, we
Or
are.
we
I
could
mean, like
And
be.
it's still on. That's the thing. It is still on the table. Just none of us feel confident that it's gonna happen. Um,
Okay, granted, I did not watch. I don't know if any of us watched
no,
the
because the
game
game's going
yesterday
at the same time as the
as the
Leafs
yeah,
game.
Leafs
little
game,
bits and
right?
pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not confident. Like I'm just by like the outside looking in, I'm not confident that like Jersey like could even. I'm not. I wasn't even confident that they come back and win yesterday,
I I
let
will be
alone
I will be
going
honest
the
with you.
distance.
I was a little biased in my judgment and in my selection, but I think that we got to give the Devils credit regardless, just because of the fact that it is their first time in the playoffs in a while. Some of these guys are tasting the playoffs for the first time, and the Rangers do have a stacked team on paper. Adam Fox, the best defenseman in the league, bar none. I think he's the highest scoring defenseman in the playoffs right now. I think he has
I think
six
he's.
Yeah.
assists.
He's
Yeah,
got
I
6
thought
assists. Yeah.
for a second there, I think he was the highest scoring
He was tied.
player in the
he's tied.
playoffs. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, it's him and
Tied with
Riley, right?
Mitchie.
Oh, with
Tied
then
with
Mitchie,
yeah,
that's
Mitchie.
right.
Yeah.
and then
Here's the damning stat for the Devils. They are last in of the 16 teams in shots per game. 26.7 shots per game. This is a team that was right up there with like the Carolina Hurricanes in a bunch of advanced stats, things like possession, shot attempts, all that good stuff that we always there's a wonderful debate, the charts versus hearts debate, and the Devils were team charts, and the charts are failing them right now. Um, that's a damning stat, especially because the Rangers weren't ever lauded as a great analytically inclined team. I don't know what it is that's blanketing the Devils. I'm waiting for my boy Dawson Mercer. I need my boy to wake up here. Show me why I've got some faith in him. I still think he's got a big playoff goal in him. So you know that King stat I had about 8 skaters with 1 point and that's it. It was the Devils, and they actually only have 7 skaters with a point.
that's tough.
That's
Jeez.
tough. It's
Yikes.
yeah, and the most points, Hughes, 2 points, 2 goals.
Not a
That's
good
it.
look.
Not a
No,
good look. Not a good look. Brian, do you want to talk about your boy,
Jonas
or
Siegenthaler
have
was
you?
uh,
Okay, you got 2 boys. You got 2 boys here.
he was scratched,
Yeah,
unfortunately. I thought that honestly, I thought that the change moving Siegenthaler to Hamilton was such a good decision, so smart on paper. Lindy Ruff, I don't know if he's looking at the same stats that and same charts that everybody else is looking at, but Yeah, Steven Gonzalez was scratched.
Devils fans are mad at him too. Like I haven't really seen anyone come out with a rational take to be like, guys, I get why we're mad, but this is part of the reasoning. I haven't seen it yet.
This
Maybe I
guy,
haven't looked hard enough, but yeah.
Lindy Ruff, potentially could have been in the Jack Adams. Well, no, you know what? He is in the Jack Adams running. He's probably gonna get
He's
second
two.
in voting. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just to get the turn on their fan base again, but the other way. You know, in WWE, heels faces. He was a heel, then he became a face, and here's the heel switch right before, the most important.
WrestleMania.
We're gonna hear the
Yeah.
Fire Lindy chants again. We're gonna hear
2
them.
times in one season.
Oh
That's
my
crazy. And this guy's
God,
still the
man.
coach.
But like who like in the playoffs we're gonna hear the Fire Lindy chants. Like, wow.
And that's
That's-
worse than
that's a
that's
crazy
worse.
storyline.
Yeah. And you're talking about other good boy, Vitek Vanacek. I don't know his numbers. I don't want to know his numbers. Yeah, I'll leave it there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I had one other thing on these guys here.
I have something else. Oh,
Kreider, yo.
yeah.
Oh my
50.
God.
50.
5
goals,
for
0
Kreider, bro.
assists.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my
man.
God.
He's going for the
That
Cy
is
Young
the
there,
most
man.
Chris Kreider stat I've ever heard in my life.
And I hate him
Yeah.
so much. But you know what? You gotta give him credit. I don't know,
I don't think
boys.
this is like Rangers Final Form either. Like,
No, it's
I don't
not.
think we've
It's-
touched the iceberg yet. The
This
kid
is
line
more-
hasn't got going. There's more in here.
No, this is just the Devils not punching hard enough.
At their weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it
Good point.
sucks because like this was the dream team, this Devils team, like everybody's wanted to see them do well. Everybody wanted to see them just end this garbage franchise, and the Rangers won last time. But you know what? It's not gonna happen. I gotta change my prediction. I'm picking the Rangers, unfortunately, and I'm saying that they win it in 5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
That's it.
I
That's
have my Rangers in 6. I had it in 7, but yeah, I'll go in 6.
Dave,
I don't even want to predict it, dude.
you feel bad. I know.
Talking
I
about
feel
this
dirty
series
saying this.
it just gets me upset. Man, am I gonna have to change my prediction? Yeah, probably. I guess I'll give Jersey the benefit of the doubt. I'll say that they'll win one more game. I'll say Rangers in 6 though. Unfortunately.